Is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar the GOAT? The conversation seems to revolve strictly around Michael Jordan and LeBron James. I get it. Chances are it's a generational thing. If you grew up with Michael Jordan, you're going to choose Michael Jordan. If you grew up with LeBron James, you choose LeBron James. I didn't really grow up with Kareem. Alan and I didn't. I mean, he retired when we were 9. So we really grew up with Michael Jordan, and obviously that's kind of where I lean to, but we are going to make the point here that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar should be in the GOAT conversation because he basically never lost a high school or college game, and he had offers from the ABA and the Harlem Globetrotters on top of his NBA being drafted number 1 overall in the NBA. And as much as we can say that Jordan made the NBA a global game, Kareem was really the guy that shaped the course of the NBA, because we're going to go through a few things. If something changes just slightly in Kareem's career, the NBA probably looks way different than it looks today. So starting things off, do you know what his real name is?
Of course I do. It is Lou Alcindor.
Do you know what his real first name is?
Louis.
No.
Luther.
Ferdinand.
So close. So close.
His middle name actually is Louis. His full name, he was born Ferdinand Louis Alcindor Jr., April 16th, 1947 in Harlem, New York. Now, with the sheer length of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's career, it's going to be impossible to hit everything because we want to keep these videos to about 5 to 10 minutes. So we're just going to hit some highlights here. And we're going to start with high school. Do you know how many consecutive wins he had in high school?
I will say 130.
He didn't play quite that many games, but the real number, 71 consecutive wins for Power Memorial in New York City. His overall high school record, 79-2.
Wow.
So outside of that, I mean, you take away that 71 game win streak, he really only went 8-2 for the rest of his high school career. So, I mean, you're looking at that's just average, sir. So he wasn't able to jump straight from the pros because the league only accepted players beginning with the year that they could have hypothetically graduated from college. Like, you know how the NFL has that rule? You got to be, I think it's 3 years before you can jump to the NFL. NBA used to have that. Now, obviously, they do not. But he did have a pro option straight out of high school. Can you think of who would offer him a professional contract right out of high school?
It would have to be the ABA.
No.
Since, they're not the NBA.
It was not the ABA. It was an individual team.
Oh, just one team.
Yep. Kind of travel on their own. They have a very similar record to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's.
Are they really considered pro?
Well, you get paid for it.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, that would be if you're like.
I was gonna say, back then, did they competitively compete, or was it always against the Washington Generals?
Okay, so first of all, it's the Harlem Globetrotters, because we kind of skipped over who it was. So it's the Harlem Globetrotters, and I consider them pro because he would have been getting paid, like not in the sense of pro competition, but in the sense of actually getting paid to play basketball. They offered him a $1 million contract a few years later as well, when he was eligible for the pros, as in the NBA or ABA. Now, he chose to attend UCLA, but he played for the freshman team, since freshmen were not allowed to play on the varsity team until 1972. He made his first public appearance as a Bruin on November 27th, 1965 in the annual varsity versus freshman exhibition game. The 1965-66 varsity team was the 2-time defending national champs, and they were top-ranked in the preseason polls. So that's the team he was going up against as a freshman. The freshman team won 75-60. He put up 31 points and 21 rebounds. He was pretty dominant. I mean, like, stop and think about that. Like, just how he's taken on the 2-time defending champs. Now, granted, it might have been one of those things of, like, remember how the college team beat the dream team? But Chuck Daly kind of did that on purpose so that, to kind of let them know, like, you guys are beatable. I mean, I highly doubt that that's what was happening at UCLA, but they won 9 of 10 NCAA men's basketball championships from 1964 to 1973. What was the other school that won the one national championship in that stretch?
I have no idea. Duke?
This one is very close to where I'm living now, my man. UTEP, baby! AKA Texas Western, led by Coach Don Haskins. And the reason that that's such a big one is it was the first time that a team had a starting lineup consisting of all black players. And of course, the 2006 movie Glory Road was based on that team. My wife will actually tell me she was going to UTEP at the time that they were filming that movie. And she said that as she was walking around campus, they would be filming on campus. And so you'd have to like stop and they would film a scene and then they'd let kids through to go to their classes and stuff. So it was pretty cool. So back to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He had an epic run when he was eventually on the varsity team for UCLA. In his 3 seasons on the varsity team, what was his overall record? Teams would play 30 games per year.
So it would be 90-0.
You're close. You're really stinking close. It was 88-2.
Oh.
He won a championship.
Assuming he didn't play something.
He won a championship every year with the Bruins, going 30-0 his first season, followed by 2 back-to-back 29-1 seasons. He also broke the UCLA single-game scoring record in his debut, putting up 56 points against USC. Wow. Again, these are all points to be made of why Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the GOAT and not Michael Jordan and not LeBron James. Now, do I personally believe that Kareem is the GOAT? I think he's involved in the conversation, but I'm not going to say necessarily that if you don't think that he's the GOAT, you're an idiot. It's opinion based. Like you can kind of pick whoever you want. But if you don't pick Michael Jordan, you're an idiot. He was the NBA's first overall pick by the Milwaukee Bucks in the 1969 draft. He was also the number 1 overall pick in the ABA draft by the New York Nets. He told both teams that he was only going to accept 1 offer from each team. Now, the Nets, their bid was the lower of the 2, so he chose the Bucks. The Nets thought that they had kind of more of an in with him because he was from New York, and they were assuming that he would want to go back and play in New York. But their bid was too low, so they came back with a higher offer, which he declined because, as he said, quote, "A bidding war degrades the people involved. It would make me feel like a flesh peddler, and I don't want to think like that." I would love to have a conversation with him. He seems like such a fascinating human being.
Yeah, he does.
And I want to get the line from Airplane when the kid's just mocking him and making fun of him. Now, while with the Bucks, Jabbar started wearing goggles because he was scratched in the eye by what player? Your hint: he was a head coach of the Warriors, the Knicks, the Mavericks, and then the Warriors again.
I have no idea.
Can't think of a Warriors head coach?
They have head coaches besides Steve Kerr?
Yes, it would have been long before that.
I'll just say Lenny Wilkins.
No! Don Nelson scratched his eyeball. Wow. It was Don Nelson. Now, after 6 years and 1 NBA title, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar requested a trade from the Milwaukee Bucks. He wound up getting traded to the Lakers, but that was not his preferred destination. Where did he want to go?
Portland Trailblazers, baby.
Oh, God, I wish. That would have been amazing. By the way, Land and I are both Trailblazer fans. But here's your hint. It would have been him going home.
Oh, to the Knicks?
To the Knicks!
That makes sense.
Ladies and gentlemen. But here he said, "I wanted to go to New York and play there. It's been a dream of mine since I first started playing basketball, to play for the Knickerbockers. The Lakers tried to make me feel at home. In New York, that just wasn't the case for them. So I don't think it's smart to go around people who don't really want you." I guess he didn't feel welcomed. So apparently the Knicks organization was run like garbage back then too, where they make the players not feel wanted. Remember when Charles Oakley got kicked out of Madison Square Garden And this is just a few years ago. Like, God, it's for a storied franchise. The Knicks apparently just can't get out of their own goddamn way. All right, final point here for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. One more random tidbit. He wrote a book in 2017 with screenwriter Anna Waterhouse about Mycroft Holmes, Sherlock's older brother.
Oh.
He apparently got into reading Sherlock Holmes when he was younger, and eventually in 2017, he ended up writing a book about Mycroft Holmes. So that's going to do it. You can come to your own conclusion when it comes to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and whether or not he is the GOAT. Is it Michael Jordan? Is it LeBron James? Comment down below if you disagree with anything that we said, if we got any of the facts wrong, or if you think there are facts that should be brought up into this conversation. Make sure you comment down below. And of course, make sure you hit the thumb, the subscribe button, and then also the bell so you get notifications on when we go live. Again, future videos coming up here. Lan and I were going to be talking about the Humpty Dance. And then we're also going to be talking about Tron. So we have those videos coming up. If you don't click that bell, you're not going to get the notifications.